you guys need to do to get you started with Skyslope. So if you do have a question, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone during the training. But if you do have a question, we'll stop at the end to ask for everything, but I'll go through the whole training just like a public training would be like. But this is just for your brokerage specifically. So just to put a face with a voice for you, my name is Ciara. I am your customer success manager. A few fun facts about myself. I have 2 dogs, a yellow lab and a mini Aussie. I love the outdoors, and I'm originally from Livermore, California.
You sound like you were yourself at a USA pageant.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Good to know. And then so now my next introduction is to our awesome Skyslope support team. If you take away anything from the training today, just remember you are not alone. You always have access to our support team within your Skyslope account. They guarantee response times with phone, chat, and email. If you'd like to give them a call, they'll pick up by that second ring. If you'd like to chat in, you have that option as well, and there is a 10-second response time. Or let's say you just want to send out an email, no problem, 20-minute response time there. And remember, once again, anywhere within your account, you always have access to our Skyslope support team, and they are here to walk you through any questions you might have. So before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information about who we are here at Skyslope. And it all started with our CEO and founder, Tyler Smith. Tyler was a top producing agent here at Sacramento, and he was making the 30 under 30 list and selling up to 300 homes per year. Now, just imagine the paperwork that comes with that type of activity. He was quite literally drowning in it, so he wanted to create a platform to streamline and store all of those documents paperlessly. He wanted to do this not only for his sanity, but also for overall compliance, and thus Skyslope was born. The Skyslope platform is really easy to use, that we've only broken it down to 3 easy steps. Step 1, creating your forms using the Skyslope Forms platform. Step 2, execute forms using DigiSign. And then step 3, turn in the executed forms by creating your property file. So with that, let's go ahead and go into Skyslope. So this is going to be my Skyslope demo account that I'll be using here today. Keep in mind that this is going to be branded according to the Skyslope colors and logo. At the top left corner, where mine says Skyslope, yours will actually be your brokerage logo, and you can use this as a homepage button. By clicking on that logo, it'll always take you back here to this homepage within the Skyslope platform. Now, to access our support team, as I mentioned these guys in my beginning intro, and that is just because they are that important, you can find them with this microphone, with the person with the microphone icon up here at the top right corner. By clicking on that icon, it will give you access to our support team in our support center. My ability to chat will actually come up here at the bottom right-hand corner. I can go ahead and click on that. But let's say I'm not in the mood to talk, no problem. Rely on our knowledge bar right here. Feel free to search any terms and YouTube videos, step-by-step instructions, tutorials, all of those information will come up here, so you can rely here on this knowledge bar. As well as if you scroll down a little bit further, you are greeted by our tutorial center, and these are going to be broken up into the type of account you have. So if you're an agent, you'll be browsing these articles. DigiSign, which is our digital signature tool, as well as the getting started, which is going to be broken down to this training that we're doing today. Perfect. And so now let's go ahead and go back to Skyslope. All right, so now that we are on the homepage, let's review our first responsibility as an agent within Skyslope, which is generating forms by using our Skyslope Forms product. Now, to access your forms, you will begin by clicking on this apps icon by your name, and then selecting Forms. Now, after you log and set up your account, this is the page that you're going to be brought to. You will have visibility into all of your forms files. However, this section will be empty when you first log in. So to create a form, you're going to go ahead and click on Create New Form. But before we even get started with creating a new form file, I want to bring your attention to the template section up here. by clicking on that template section, you'll actually be able to, and actually I see that it's logged into Isabel's, we actually created 2 brokerage templates for you. So she's made it very easy to just select these templates to generate all of your forms. However, if you wanted to generate your own templates, you can always click on Create Template here, select which template you would like to create, and then pull those documents as well. So I'm just going to do this as an example. If I click Next, I can say what I would like it. I'm just going to say example listing. Press Continue. When I create the name, I can go ahead and start in and adding in documents. So if I just want a listing agreement, it'll pull it up for me and you can click Add to add it. When I click Add, you'll see how many forms are added. I can also click Remove and that will remove them, and then click Continue to save everything. But Isabel has actually already created those for you, so you'll be able to see those directly in your account as well. And so now if we go to Files, I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. And so we're going to go ahead and start by doing a seller. My seller's name is going to be Jennifer Aniston. You may have heard of her. And I'm going to actually go ahead and type in this. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and do a street address. And so let's do let's just pick that one. You can name the file either the address or the client name. And then you can also select what template you would like to use. And so I'm just going to go ahead and create that. Now I can start adding in documents. I'm going to go ahead and just do the listing agreement. There we go. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and click Next. So now you can see that this file is now created and you can see the listing agreement that I have here. And so if I go ahead and select it, I can go ahead and click on Fill and Send to start typing onto this document. You can also upload any documents that you need from your computer or add more forms if you would like to. But I'm just going to do this one as an example. So I'll go ahead and click Fill and Send. As you can see, it will generate any of the information that I've already entered into that specific forms file. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down and I'm going to enter in the list price just for fun, and then the listing and the expiration date. Let's say I filled out the rest of the forms and I'm ready to click Prepare for signatures to get my signatures for this document. Give me 1 second. I think I know what happened. Isabel and I were working before this, so I think it was just still logged on to hers. So I want to make sure. Yep, that's what it was. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to go ahead and create that file one more time for you. But this is in real time, so you don't have to worry about it. So as you can see, it is pretty easy to do.
I do have a question. So
yeah,
the files that we create, do they stay in there forever? Can we delete files?
Yeah, you can definitely delete files. And so I'll go over that at just a second too. Basically what you would do is, here, let me show you. What you would do is if you go to your files, on the right-hand side, you'll click on those 3 dots and you can archive it to remove it.
But I guess it'll never erase.
Correct. It will never erase. You'll just find it in your archive section.
Perfect. Okay, because I'm afraid, it has, I know it happens to someone that things happen and you just, you're working through and then if we archive it, we can retrieve it at some point.
Oh, definitely. You
Okay.
always have access to it from the back end.
Okay.
So you're good.
And
Perfect.
show where we can get the archived files also.
Exactly. I'll be able to go through that and touch some of that area as well. So let me just go ahead and fill this in so that way you guys can see all the cool features about it. Perfect. And then
Wow, in California, they care about the compensation right away.
they do.
Paragraph number 3.
Right? It's like, oh, great. And perfect. Each form looks different for each state. So I'm just trying to find that listing. There we go. There we go. Beginning on there and ending, let's just say this date. Perfect. All right, prepare for signature. And so now when I click on that, as you can see, it already knows that my seller needs to sign. And if for some reason I need to sign on this document, you can always change that to needs to sign. I don't need to set myself as receives a copy. Since I'm the one sending it, I will automatically receive a copy. And so I'm going to go ahead and click next. Perfect. And so now we're in our DigiSign section. So this is where we'll be able to set up the signatures and get it signed out. Since this is a document that is already mapped, it is pretty nice because it actually already has all the signatures and dates labeled on them. However, if I wanted to, let's say, just select a checkbox, I could just come up here, click on checkbox, and then click and drag it where I want. So if I wanted to add more signatures to it, I can always do that. But if I scroll down, it already has everything mapped out for me, which is really nice. And so since I see that everything's already mapped out, I'm actually going to go ahead and press send. And so you can edit the subject line. So I can say listing agreement. Hi, Jen. Please review and sign. Thanks. Ciara. Boom. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on send for signatures.
Can we already set up like an automated signature there that it's going to appear?
There's not a way to send to create an automatic message, but what I can do is I can put in a feature suggestion for you because that is a great feature to have. Perfect. And so once I press send, I will automatically come to this envelope section and you can see the status. It was sent 1 minute ago. If I click on the actions, which are these 3 dots, I can view the history of this envelope. I can download it. I can resend it if I messed up on an email and need to, correct the email. I can resend it that way, or I can cancel the envelope completely. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and go into my email. So that way I can show you what it looks like. So there's that listing agreement. It's saying to get started, it requests your signature. When I click on that, it'll take me to a new tab with the DigiSign document. The first thing that I'll ask your client to do is click on I agree, and that's just accepting the e-signature terms. Once they click on I agree, it will give them access to the whole document so that they can scroll down to read everything. Once they're ready to sign, they'll actually scroll all the way back up and click on this start icon on the left-hand side. By clicking on that start icon, it'll take them to their first action. And all they need to do is click on this box to sign. The first box will allow them to select a signature font or draw their own. I like this one, so I'm going to select that and click use this signature. Then it will take me to this. This one's an optional one, so I can just click next to remove it, or I can click on it, but I'm just going to click next. And it will take me to each action that I need to click on. Perfect.
So clients don't have to actually create an account to sign.
Nope, they do not.
Okay.
Kira,
Yeah.
for us, when we need to sign on contracts,
Yep.
do we need to add that space for us to add that signature? Is that automatically filled out, or how can we set it up where it can permanently be attached to those documents? And every time we send a client the contract, we don't have to fill out that information where we need to sign, or is there a way?
Yeah, so if you're using association documents that are provided by Skyslope, they should automatically be mapped for you. So if you have a signature that you're supposed to sign, it should automatically have that for you. The only time that it won't have it is if you upload a document from your computer. That's because that document won't be mapped. Then you would have to individually place that signature field on the document.
The only reason why I'm asking is because last week I sent a contract to a client,
Mhm.
but I never received a copy where I was requested to sign. And I needed to ask Isabel to send it to DigiSign so I could then execute the contract, because I only have my client's signatures, but I didn't have mine. So I don't know where I messed up.
So for that specific one, did you pull the one that they signed? Did you have to resend it? And that's what you're referring to, or you're just referring to the first time you sent it out?
No, I just sent it one time because I didn't want to look like dumb. Like,
No, of course.
send it twice to them. So I just, Isabel did me the favor of just sending it to DocuSign, and I signed it through DocuSign, but it didn't send me that email that you're showing us right now.
What we can do is after the training, we can meet up just so I can see the workflow to see what step maybe was missed. That way we can get that figured out for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect.
What she's referring to, also, I mean, I guess it's just like obviously it would be good to see what happened with her file, but let's say, for example, you all have, a promulgated form available for us to fill out, and you all happen to miss, agent signs here. Is there any way that we would be able to go in through the templates that we've created to assign that?
For the signature field?
The signature fields.
There's not at this moment, but if it is a document we have and we missed it, just let me know and I'll get my product team on it right away, because that should have that already. I know we've been working through a couple forms already, so I'll talk to them to see what's going on if that's the case.
So now it would be a good idea whenever we send it to DigiSign, I review the form, and then of course if we're missing a signature for ourselves, assign it
Correct.
ourselves in case.
Yeah, just in case. That's why I would always because human error, sometimes they do miss something. And so just making sure that all the signature boxes are there before you send it off. But I'll definitely reach out to you to get all that.
Yes. And if any of you run into anything like that, guys, let me know, or we can email, of course, Yara directly just to let her know what forms are missing it. Because I mean, of course, it's different forms that we might be running across. Hopefully you don't run into that problem, but just in case.
Exactly. And so, yeah, and then I'm also going to add in that feature suggestion. I'll reach out to my dev team to see if there's a way you guys can just add a signature field to your own forms and keep it for each and every document.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. So back to this one. Basically, what will happen is when they click on that last signature field, as you can see, there's no next field. So what they will actually see is over here, they can tell required fields completed, 13 out of 13. And now they can click on this finish signing icon. So when I click on that, it'll give them this pop-up where they can download those signed documents or view them. They'll also receive an email saying that they've completed the signing, and you should receive that email as well. So if we go ahead and go back into our forms, you'll see that that is now completed status. All right, and so going back
If we need to make a change, would it erase all of the signatures?
So right now, because the forms platform is so new, if you needed to correct the document for some reason, you would need to resend it out
Okay.
and then cancel this one in the forms platform.
Okay, so we will have to cancel that one and resend the whole thing for new signatures.
Correct. They are working on the feature of being able to correct envelopes, but that's just not a feature that's released yet.
Okay.
And so I'll keep you updated on all those releases as well as they come out. Perfect. All right. So now that you have all of your documents, we're going to go ahead and go back into Skyslope and turn them in. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of the forms platform and go back to Skyslope. So just to reiterate, we were in the form section, but now we're back on the main webpage of Skyslope. So now that we have our executed documents, we're going to go ahead and create a property file. So that way we can submit the fully executed documents to our broker. So now that I'm representing the seller, I'm going to start by clicking on Create Listing. By clicking on that icon, it does give us access to Sky, and she is our virtual listing assistant. And so she's going to help us pull in information from MLS and the forms platform to keep us from doing double data entry. So we're going to go ahead and click on Enter the Listing. The first page that it's going to take you to is going to be this Create Your Listing tab. You can start entering in the property address, but we just spent all that time creating the forms file. So we can actually click on this forms toggle. By clicking on that toggle, it is going to show you the recently created files, as well as if you have more than 4, you can search the file here. But there's my file that I did. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next Question.
If the address won't come up, do we have to contact IT or?
Oh no, so what happens for that is if you are doing just the address, you can just switch to manual entry if it's not coming up.
Okay, okay.
Perfect. And so next question is going to be, what type of listing is this? This is important because basically this is pulling which checklist you are referring to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on resale. Next question, how much is the property listed for? It already pulls in that information that I entered in onto that document. So you don't even have to fill this out. Next is going to ask for the listing and sale commission. I'll go ahead and enter in the percentage, or I can click here, switch to flat rate to enter in a dollar amount. If you're working with a co-agent within your brokerage, you can add their information here as well. Next, how long is the listing listed for? It pulls in those dates that I entered in onto that residential listing agreement. So that's perfect. Next question. And finally, it pulls in the seller information from the forms file as well. If Jennifer perhaps was using an LLC, you could also switch to company seller, as well as if there's more than one seller, you can add additional sellers here too. So go ahead and click Next Question. This one you guys won't even see because I'm based in California. You see it here, but that won't even be an option on yours. So you can just go ahead and you'll be able to just see, does everything look right? If everything looks right, go ahead and click on Create My Listing. But if you notice that you need to make a correction, you can use this back icon and go ahead and make that correction. But today, everything looks great, so I'll click Create My Listing. Give me 1 second. I think it's just because I was going back and forth between the two accounts. There we go. Let me make sure I did this one right while I was doing everything. Perfect. There we go. My demo account is just being stubborn today. And so what will happen is it will create the listing for you. And this is what's going to come up. You'll be able to see the checklist tab right away, and you'll be able to see the list of documents. What'll happen as well is it'll show the red required, meaning that you need to upload those to get paid. And you'll see the if applicable ones, meaning that they're not necessarily important for each and every transaction, but it doesn't mean that you might need to upload one. Lead-based paint is a great example for that one. Now, Sky will fill in all of the information into the listing and the contacts tab for you. And so there are a couple ways to get these checklist documents into your account. Let's say you had them, you didn't get them signed, they're just on your computer. You can click this attach button and upload them directly, as well as when you create the forms file, it will connect that Skyslope property file for you. And so it will have all of those documents linked here in the documents tab. So as you can see, that listing agreement is right here. And so I can go ahead and assign it to that property file. Also, you can use this Skyslope specific property email address at the top. What's nice about this is you can use this email kind of to send in emails to keep track of everything. You can use it for text messaging to keep track of text messaging conversations. Anything you want to send into the file, you can do so, and it will go into the log tab for you. Let's say though that Jennifer decided to go home and sign the document, and then she emailed me the signed listing agreement. What I can do is, since that document is in my email, instead of downloading it to my computer and then uploading it here, I can simply just copy this email address. Let me go ahead and go into my email. There's that listing packet. And I can actually just go ahead and forward this email to that property specific email address. When I do that, it will then save this correspondence in the log tab, and it will automatically upload this packet to the documents tab. So if I go over here and click on documents, perfect. Now you see that listing packet is now uploaded right there.
So even for safety, I guess safety reasons, we can send any communication that we have with the client and it'll start in the account.
Yep, exactly. And so that's actually going to be stored in the log tab under EMLRCE, email received. And if you click on that link, that'll show you the correspondence of the email. So that way
you can actually put it in a text message. So whenever you want to start like a thread with any of your clients, like let's say it's a husband and wife and you want to include them in all of this, you do husband and wife phone numbers and then you include that email. And every time that they communicate, it will automatically be logged.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty neat feature, guys. I mean, that way we can, obviously document everything we tell our clients.
And these files, is there a time limit that you store them, or are they stored for life?
They're stored for life.
Okay.
Perfect. And so because I know this is a listing packet, I know I need to separate this packet. So to do so, I would actually just come over here and click on this split icon. When I click on that icon, my document is going to come up here on the right-hand side. If it's too small, I can zoom in. I can also use these arrows to scroll up and down. Since this is a frequently used form, I know what the pages are. So the first one's going to be the listing agreement. I'm going to go ahead and select that so that way it attaches to the checklist. And I'll say from page 1 to page 8, it's going to be that one. The next one is going to be the seller advisory. As I start typing that in, you see that it populates here. And so I'll click on that, and that's page 9 to 11. And then we have the agency agreement. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say 12 to 18. Once I'm done splitting the document, I'm going to go ahead and click on split and assign. And you can see, nice job. You split 3 docs and 3 were attached to your checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and go to checklist. And as you can see, those 3 items are now in review status. What's nice about this is once you see this in review status on the checklist, you do not need to text or email Isabel to review the documents. She'll automatically receive them once you see that they're in review status. Perfect. And then a couple more.
Once she approves one, let's say she goes over through one document and she approves that one, but she didn't go over the bottom 2. So the top one will say, I guess, completed or reviewed or whatever, and the other one's still going to say in review, right?
Exactly. And actually, I'm going to show you what it'll actually look like on your end as well. Okay. So let's say Isabel reviewed everything. She's actually going to click a button to email you, and you're going to get this email that says checklist update. And on that, you'll be able to see which documents she accepted, and it's going to be in green completed. And the ones she rejected, it's going to be purple incomplete. She'll be able to add a comment letting you know why she rejected it. So for this one, missing a signature on page 2. What's nice about this is you don't even have to log into Skyslope and then try to search for that file. You can just click go to checklist, and that will take you directly into that file to make that change. And so a couple more things about this listing agreement. If you ever need to cancel or withdraw the listing, you have the ability to do so up here at the top right by clicking withdraw listing, as well as if you ever need to convert your listing into a transaction because you have an accepted offer, you'll be under the checklist tab and click on this accepted contract button. And that will then convert the listing into a transaction for you. So with that, let me go ahead and go back to the home page. All right, perfect. So now that we have our listing created, to find it, we would actually go under Manage Listings. The first section will show you all of your active and expired files that you're currently working on. On the right-hand side, you'll be able to see the 2 icons right here. The first one is going to be the withdraw listing icon, and the second is going to be the accepted contract icon as well. So you can do that within this page too. If you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see canceled listings pending approval. As agents, you will need to get approval from withdrawing your listings, so you'll be able to see them here. Once Isabel approves of the cancellation, then they will be stored on the homepage under the canceled contracts section, and you'll have access to them forever. All right, so now let's go to the homepage. Now that we know how to create a file and turn in all the documents, we've kind of primarily done it with listings. So let's quickly discuss transactions. If you're representing a buyer, you'll first start by creating a transaction. However, you've already covered the creation process. So let's just go straight into one that's already created. When you click on Manage Transactions, you'll be able to see your pending transactions at the top. So let's go ahead and go into one that's already created. The first tab that it'll take you to is going to be the Transaction tab. This is just going to have all the contract information. The second tab is going to be the Contacts tab. And then the third tab.
When you mention contacts, is that including title, everyone that's involved, or only the clients?
That's title, escrow, and attorney as well. So let me go ahead and go back. So you'll see seller, purchaser, title, escrow, attorney, agent representing the other side. That'll have all of that information here on the Contacts tab.
You don't have to worry about giving access, I guess, specific access to each party, like everyone's just going to have the signature access.
Correct. This is just for your knowledge. They won't have access to this file at all.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. And then the next section is going to be new for transactions. That's going to be your commission tab. So this is how you're going to get paid. So you'll be able to enter in the listing and sale commission, deposits, referral details, any additional commission information that you need Isabel to know about, you'll put all right here. What's also important to know is when you first create a transaction or when you convert a listing into a transaction, when you're filling everything out, it will say incomplete, but don't worry. To get to this pending status, all you need to do is click submit on the checklist tab, and that will generate the checklist tab and change that to pending status. And so the checklist tab is going to be exactly like the listing, where this is where you're going to turn in all of the documents. You'll be able to see which ones are required, which ones are if applicable. What's nice is if you have a listing that you've converted into a transaction, you do not need to upload any new documents. Those listing documents will be found on this checklist tab at the very bottom. So there's no double data entry or anything like that. All right, and so now I'm going to go ahead and cover a couple more features that we haven't covered yet. And so we're going to start on that Documents tab. In this Documents tab, this is going to be your storage space for everything relevant to the property file. It has unlimited storage here, so you can upload photos, utility bills, staging receipts, anything you want access to. In this tab, you can always select the document by clicking on that white box to the left of the document name. You can assign it to the checklist this way. You can see it's assigned there, but you can unassign it if it's on the wrong checklist item. You can send it via DigiSign to get signatures, and you can email it out as well directly from the Documents tab. The next tab is going to be the Log tab, and this is where you'll see all of the activity within the property file. So you'll be able to see when a document was uploaded, who reviewed it, and when it was reviewed. It's going to be stored in chronological order here. And if you're diligent about CCing the property specific email address on all emails and texts, it will be saved here in that Log tab that I showed you. Next is going to be the Task tab. And this is more like a to-do list. If you wanted to have a to-do list to check off, as you can see, this one has schedule inspection. If you wanted to create a new task for yourself, you can just click on that new task icon, type in when you would like that task to be due, and who you would like it assigned to. You can also import a template, and I know Isabel is working on creating those for you, so that way you can import those as well. Oh, give me 1 second. Sorry, I need to cough. That's how you know it's the end of the day, right? When you can't talk. Perfect. All right, so lastly is the Property tab. Now this tab is not required by any means, but if you wanted to add additional information, such as bedrooms, occupancy status, homeowner association, you can enter in those details. Lastly, I want to draw your attention up here to transaction actions. If you click on that, it does give you two options. The download summary will download a PDF of all the information you've entered onto the transaction, as well as you can cancel the transaction here. Now, to get back to manage transactions, you can go ahead and click on your company logo, or you can just click here on transactions. So let's go ahead and go back. Something you may be wondering about is what happens on closing day? Well, if your file is completed and everything has been submitted, then your brokerage or Isabel will close and archive the file for you. However, if the closing date has passed and you have not uploaded everything just yet, she can still close the file out for you, but she will not archive it. So it's going to live under here. Closed transactions to be archived. We refer to this section as file jail, and that's just because we do not have all of our required items uploaded yet. So you'll want to make sure to upload all the documents that are required. That way you can get paid on time. All right, and that's how you create a property transaction file. Let's go ahead and go back to the homepage, and we're on the last stretch now. So just to go over, we now know how to create a listing, manage our listings, create a transaction, and manage our transaction. So I want to go over the remainder of these icons here and discuss some of the functionality we have not gone over yet. So to start us off, the incomplete checklist section. This is exactly how it sounds. It's going to be a list of outstanding items within all of your property files. This is a great place to look to make sure you are staying on top of everything. Right next door is going to be the canceled contract section. And so that's going to be where all of your canceled files that your brokerage has approved will be, and you can click on that section if you ever need access to those files and documents. In the middle is going to be the Access Archives. And this is where all of your closed and archived files will live. And we can actually go ahead and click on that section. You have unlimited storage here, and you'll always have access to them. You'll never lose access. What's nice is if you need to download all of the documents, you can come here and select either all documents, which will download all of the documents in your Documents tab, or checklist documents, which are going to be the ones that you uploaded to the checklist. It will then download a zip file for you to your computer. Perfect. Next on the homepage is going to be, once it loads, the tasks and reminders section. And so that's where you can actually create the templates for the tasks that I showed you earlier. And I know Isabel is going to be working on those for you guys. So if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll be happy to work out. You can also reach out to our support team. They're super knowledgeable about this and they can help you out with those, creating those as well. And then lastly, I want to cover the working document section. So by going into the working documents section, the first tab that it will take you to is your personal docs tab. Now, each and every person within Skyslope has their own personal docs tab that is private to them. You have unlimited storage here. And what I like to use this for is pre-contractual prep. So while I'm listing Jennifer's house, we are also sending out offers for her replacement properties. So I can go ahead and create a folder under her name and upload any of those offers that I need. Once we have an accepted contract, I can then go ahead and create a property file for that specific property address. I can come here, select the document, and assign it to that property file that I just created. I can also send it via DigiSign if I need to get a signature or email it out. And then the Office Docs tab. Now, everyone within your brokerage will have access to this Office Docs tab, but only your admin team will be able to upload documents here. So they may put some brokerage specific disclosures or anything they want you to have access to. It will be located here. All right, and then lastly, just the DigiSign icon. That is just like how it is in the Forms platform, but if you didn't want to go through the Forms platform, you just wanted to get a signature signed or a document signed for a signature, you would just go straight into DigiSign. All right, perfect. Any questions?
No questions, guys? I know it's a lot.
It's a lot, so we get that.
She's recording it, so if we need to go back and review, you know, obviously we would be able to go back and see what she went over. And then, I mean, of course, she's always available upon support, and I'm hoping I know it well enough to guide you guys too. I'm learning too, but it's once we get it under our belt there, I'm pretty sure we'll be good to go. Anybody? Fatima?
Nobody has questions.
Oh, I was on mute. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a question, but it's probably gonna be unrelated, like a duh moment. I'm sorry if I'm gonna blow it like that, but so when I was with my other brokerage, we were doing everything through zip forms and then downloading to Skyslope.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, CRI, if I'm just asking
Oh, it's okay.
a question. So from what I'm understanding, Skyslope and zip forms are the same?
It is two different platforms, but they're very similar.
So, but they have like the same purpose.
Yes.
Got
So
it.
now we actually have forms because before we did not have forms. That's why you had to use zip forms. But now we have the association forms. So you don't have to use zip forms.
Got it. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Case, you know, there's agents that have zip forms and they're comfortable with zip forms. They would be able to just upload everything onto here, right?
Exactly. They wouldn't need to use the forms platform at all. They would just strictly come here to this homepage and create the property files, then upload the documents.
So basically, we're just gonna have it
Alright then.
easier with this system because everything is gonna get signed through this system,
Go
and
ahead, Fatima.
we don't need to go in and out, right? We're not gonna need to go through different applications. Isabel will have access to our contracts directly from Skyslope.
Exactly. It'll be all in one platform, so you don't have to go back and forth between the two different ones.
Great. Okay, that's awesome.
Linda, Antonia, you all are used to zip forms, aren't you?
Yes, pretty similar, but if we get stuck, we'll let you know.
Perfect. And we have an awesome support team that's here 7 days a week. So if you run into anything, reach out to them. They really will help you and walk you through any steps if you don't know how to do something.
You're going to be sending the video out to everybody, right, Ciara? Or you'll send it to me and I'll send it to everybody?
I was going to send it to you, and if you want to send it out to everyone, that's probably the easiest.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Any other questions, Kelly?
No, thank you very
There
much,
was-
Sarah, for your time.
You're welcome.
All
There
the
was a
questions.
section of property tabs, the property tab where we were able to fill in some additional information.
Yeah.
I was wondering why that didn't autofill from the MLS. Was that not possible?
So for the MLS, the information we pull, we don't get all of the information. We get the basic information right now from that MLS integration. We usually get like the seller's name, the contract information, such as like the listing expiration date and the price. We don't get the details generated yet, but I can definitely put that feature suggestion in.
Okay, thank you. It was fairly simple because the people in the group, the majority of them have been doing real estate for quite a while. I am very new. So it was really interesting that while you were talking, I was creating a listing and everything just pops up from the MLS. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. I'm glad. That's what we try to do.
Thank you, Roger. Naomi, where are you? She's not there.
I'm
There
here.
she is. Oh.
I'm here. You know, I have a million questions when I need to fill this out.
Yes, I know. And I think it's just going to take practice. And then the good thing also, I mean, we could go through the video, obviously, and then they also have tutorials, like she was stating,
Mhm.
on the page. So yeah, that, and I mean, and they literally do answer the phone for you guys, like on the second ring, because I've called them a couple of times already. So I'm very happy with that.
And Sierra, the app on the App Store.
Yeah.
We have access to what we're seeing on the computer.
So the app doesn't have as much capability. There's no way to send DigiSign through the app. So what I would recommend doing is using your mobile browser and just signing into skyslope.com that
Okay.
way, and that'll be just like your computer.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Oh, the hours for the customer service or support, Sierra, I know you said it's 7 days a week. What hours are they?
They're round the clock, so they're 24/7.
24/7. Okay, awesome, guys. So just in case I go to sleep at 2:01 in the morning instead of 2 o'clock and you're awake, you could
Yep.
call them.
Exactly. And they really will. If you need help just walking through the first file, they'll walk you through it. They're okay. I literally was in support for 4 years, so I know that they will do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, guys. So we're good?
We're good.
Perfect.
We are.
Awesome, guys. Well, have a great day. It was great training you.
No, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.